Hi guys, how are you?
Great, how are you?
Good. Would you guys each mind just taking a moment and introducing who you guys are, what your names are?
Sure. I am Amelia Garrettson for Sans Hunt. It's a very long name. My artist name is Amelia Garrettson for Sans, and then he's a Hunt, so I'm a Hunt as well. And I am a multimedia artist working in all kinds of different narrative forms. So I make films, I write stories with illustrations, and then I also make kind of narrative art installations.
And I'm Ian Hunt, and I'm a sound engineer and sound artist and life artist.
There you go. And I'm so curious. So you guys each have a little bit of a background doing different kinds of production within the Portland area. Is there anything particularly notable or anything that you guys would really love to work on that kind of shows your skills?
I think for me, like one thing that I'm most proud of, like in my time as part of the Portland community. So I used to work at an art studio for adults with disabilities called Bondi Arts, and we have put on a show called Variety Show at Space Gallery for the last 3 years, and it's just a multimedia spectacle where we showcase films by adults with disabilities, and then there's like live performance elements, and we do like community interviews. So I was definitely one of the like big engineers behind that project. So I feel like, yeah, I'm pretty proud of that, and I think it shows like I think Ian and I are both kind of like directors, leaders. You know, we like have a pretty clear vision of how we want things to go, and I'm just like really good at like organizing people and getting people excited about stuff. So I think Variety Show definitely showcase some of those talents. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess just as a production person, I've like been very fortunate to work with like tons of really fun and special stuff, and a lot of work through Space. I used to, before the pandemic, I was a production manager at Space Gallery, and had tons of great opportunities there. But then also, we have a synth pop band called Floaty Floaty that had one performance that was really fun, and we were working on more, and still are. So
Yeah, and we did. Well, Ian like designed a lot of the stage production for that show as well. So yeah, we definitely like want to do more, and in the meantime, we're gonna make some music videos. But yeah.
I also have a live project called Super Blaster that's kind of like an immersive sort of comedic rock show experience.
It's like Andy Kaufman-esque. Like it's just
Very
like
cool.
absurdity, humor.
Yeah.
Yep, a lot of feelings. It's good.
Yeah, I've been sort of trying to reimagine the pandemic, but it's normally a live experience thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, so just like I don't know, just sum up. Like I feel like we have like ridden this line of like being our own artists and like pursuing our own projects, but then also like facilitating a lot of creative projects in town. So like we're passionate about both things, but I think we're like kind of stepping into it, taking on bigger projects for ourselves in addition to the other community projects.
Awesome. And so specifically your project Immersive, what was the thought process behind this? Because this is also just so people who may be watching this know this is an outdoor experience only. You guys are inside the experience right now. You guys are inside the mystery.
But nobody gets to see this.
But nobody gets to see that.
Yeah.
So can you just kind of give a understanding as to what the thought process was for this?
I feel like that's part of it. I think that both of us as like sort of facilitators and production people around town, like the idea that there is this like kind of elaborate show that you only get to see like one side of. I think that's like kind of just true of our experience working in Portland.
I think like we definitely did want to make something that you could experience from the outside only because of the pandemic. And people are like hungry for like magic and theater and pleasure and like production. So I think that was exciting to us to just like put on a little piece of production theater that you could just pass by for 10 seconds and get some enjoyment out of, and maybe sort of make you pause and and wonder what's going on. And also just like something beautiful to look at.
Yeah, and we like interactive work, so I think like the interaction of like what's going on in there is like a pretty cool like solution to this time where like touching stuff is not as much of an option, or getting in a small space or something is not like always a great idea.
And I feel like a lot of our work is like, yeah, I don't know, like in a way we're kind of like charlatans, like we like, if you come into this space, it's all just like chintzy, like foil and balloons and a bunch of nonsense. But just like using those elements to kind of make something a little bit mystical or magical. And I think that's not to sound too cheesy, but what we all kind of need a bit more of is just like, I mean, yeah, and I just want to mention this building is so great, and that was like why we reached out to you. Like this building is just so like it's so mysterious on its own.
It's just an enticing building already, yeah.
And I think in our last project, Mystery Con, the Space Gallery, it was like, I don't know, it was maybe a little bit more about like the landscape and like pausing to consider like these kind of mystical processes in the landscape. But for this one, it was more just like how can you sort of like have a mystical experience with the building, like in an urban area. I don't know, and just like remembering the life force that flows all around us. I don't know. I think that's so, like just something that helps you kind of like check in with the wonder of being alive.
It's just really funny that you said that, because like that there's a guy just like while we're setting this up like pass by on the street and was just like shouting at me from across the street just like questions about what's going on there, and then he was like, a lot of people don't realize that like light unites all of our experience, or he said something like that. And I was just like,
yeah, bingo.
Yeah, you get it. Like, like cool, thanks, dude. Like, yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's like it connects us all. It's like, cool, yeah, it does kind of.
That's actually that's awesome.
It was sweet, yeah. I felt like, oh, that's a good omen for this piece.
I feel like we've both been, or at least I've been really interested in like psychedelic art lately, like, and like not that I have done very many psychedelic drugs, but like just that like, like you take these psychedelic drugs to sort of like check in with the universe and like have this like really intense communion with the world around you. So I really appreciate that about like psychedelia and psychedelic art. So I think, and this is kind of like a happening, right?
Right.
So I used to like put dyes on overhead projectors and just see what would happen.
Yeah.
Sorry, whatever.
So, do you guys have anything else you want to share?
I lost the thought I had.
We can come back to it.
Yeah.
I am also, so it's kind of a crazy thing because this building specifically does have these windows, which is amazing to be able to showcase with, and having the depth of ability to kind of work through here is pretty great. And when you had first approached me, Amelia, you didn't really know the goal of Project Immersive or anything.
Right, yeah.
Which I think is fascinating to me because you guys are kind of like exactly why we started this. To build a bigger community of different types of artists, to kind of show the possibility of what Maine has to offer for artists, and know that we're not just Adirondacks.
Yeah,
like there's far much more interesting and creative stuff happening in Maine than I think a lot of people recognize.
Yeah.
And I think you guys are kind of this kind of perfect showcase of that almost in a way. I am super curious, why do you guys still live in Maine if you guys have all of this ability and skill and creativity? Why do you still stay in Maine?
I mean, we're happy that Maine will have us.
That's true too. I mean, I feel like we moved to Maine for you to go to grad school here at Mecca, and so I think, having even just that community of grad school people that like even have connected you like to like a lot of like the threads that are now like widening in the city. Like that was just like a very
yeah, definitely. It's a really wonderful thing to have. Moving to a new place is just like great network. Yeah, I feel like especially so it's funny, like I did the MFA program, like gonna be like a professional artist and all that, like did the MFA program, like immediately had children, like just kind of like stepped back from that desire of following that thread, but kind of getting back into it. But it feels different, I think, now that I'm a parent and a little bit later on, but that's tangential. But yeah, I mean, I feel like, but when we first got here, especially like the music scene, I think you were just like, oh, this is like.
I was pretty floored by the music
It's
scene
so
here,
weird.
honestly. Yeah, like
there's so much experimentation going on. Like we had just come from Nashville, where like
Nashville,
these
of all
incredible
places.
musicians.
it's incredible musicians, a lot of stuff that you can't find anywhere else. But like in my experience there, and I understand that it has changed like more since, but like almost nothing experimental. Like it was like almost just like poo-pooed, like that would be of value. Here it's just the opposite. I mean, I feel like people here feel like I make this weird thing up north in the woods somewhere, and I don't even really care if anyone sees it,
there's this passion and pleasure in playing. Like I mean, like Video Nasties and Cold Raven.
yeah. I mean,
And who is that woman who lives in the woods?
okay, Claire Katua. I don't know if you've ever. She has a million artist names, but yeah, there's like I work with an artist who she lives on a goat farm with no electricity, and she snowshoes out to a cabin with a generator to make her music, and she's incredible. And she's one of the coolest artists I've ever seen, and it's like apocalyptic cowboy music, and you're like, what the hell is this? And it's
I don't know if it's freedom or what exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like in New York City or in Nashville or in LA, but there is but there's just more communication with those places now.
And I also feel like conversely, just the way people receive art here, folks in the street just sort of being like, what the hell is that? Oh, that's cool. There's less of a wall built up around the idea of art, and I feel like it makes it easier and more fun and pleasurable to engage in here than
which is, I mean, I think
most other places.
The kind of art that we have made in the past and are making more of. It's just just something that you don't need any sort of special language to understand.
Totally.
I mean, not understand, but it's just it can be whatever you want it to be, and I think I mean, it's just a really like you said, a really fun place to get a response. And it's also empirically better.
It's just the beauty. Yeah.
It's just I mean, I'm so.
The quality of life thing is outrageous. Yeah. But
yeah, and we'll see. I mean, we're gonna see if we can be artists when we grow up, But I'm hopeful. I think
And so I am kind of curious. So Veronica Perez, who's an artist who came here earlier, she also moved here for grad school, and she's decided that she's gonna, stay here for as long as Maine will continue to have her.
Yeah.
So I'm just so curious. You guys love Maine in the same way that you guys are gonna stay here, even though you're done with grad school and everything. I know you still work at Mecca. But what's your plan? I'm not looking for a 5-year goal or anything.
Right, I know.
It's a great question.
But I mean, for sure we're never going to leave. I mean, that's been obvious to us. I think within the first year, we're just this feels like it, But also just, I don't know what the long-term plan is, but just to keep doing this, keep growing, collaborations and opportunities.
This is the most fun that we ever have is just making things like this together and going to the craft store and being maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
That's right.
totally.
So I think that would be the dream, is to sort of move from project to project.
I think I don't know, maybe doing a lot of the facilitating type of work we've been doing, but in a more.
Because we're both really passionate about those communities that we work with. Even before we had a son with a disability, we were super passionate about artists with disabilities and increasing representation. So I don't know. We have we have some ideas about community-oriented goals we'd like to achieve, but all really creative and fun and bringing people in through theater, kind of
Awesome. You guys
showmans.
Do you have anything coming up that you want to make sure people are aware of, or anything exciting that you want people to go and check out?
The next most immediate thing on the docket is we're doing a one night only sound piece December 3rd.
December 3rd, yeah.
At the Institute of Contemporary Art at the Maine College of Art, and it's going to be a playable, socially distanced.
That will be actually interactive in a socially distant and non-touching way.
Yeah. Very cool.
So yeah, that's probably the main thing.
Yeah, that's I think that's all that's on the book too. We might make a music video with Veronica for Floaty
Oh
Floaty.
yeah. Oh yeah. I guess I was thinking of the Floaty Floaty radio.
Oh yeah,
special.
that's right. Yeah, we might have a radio Christmas special for Floaty
Yeah,
Floaty.
we do.
TBD.
Synth-pop covers and
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll keep a lookout for it. Do you guys have a website or anything for
No,
it?
don't have that. So you don't even have to mention that. Yeah. We'll get to that.
One day it'll get there.
Yeah. But yeah, Brian actually is the other part of Floaty Floaty, our child care that's with us today.
There you go.
And like we should just say like Brian Cavalier is like a huge part of our art possibility. You know, he's like actually collaborated with us on a lot
Yeah.
of things and also just helps make it possible.
And is
Perfect.
was a big collaborator on the thing we have on December 3rd.
Yeah.
That's officially a Floaty Floaty piece.
Yeah, he's the third member.
Yeah.
He's the third tier tryon.
That's right. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Totally. Yeah. Right. You wouldn't even know what quality it was without him. Yeah.
Well, you guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much. I'm astonished by this and just seeing everybody's excitement and everything has been awesome. So I'm glad you guys reached out. I'm glad this was able to happen.
Well,
So
thank you so
guys.
much.
And thank you so much
Yeah.
for having us and for being here. And
All good things all around.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, really, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Faye. Yeah.